thoughtfully created to ease the weight of grief. In our private conference room, conversations are guided by empathy. Here, our client experience coordinators sit beside you, not just across the table, to help plan a service that truly reflects your loved one's story. Whether it's a traditional farewell or a personalized celebration of life, we take time to understand your wishes and offer thoughtful guidance. At the heart of our organization is a dedicated manager who ensures that everything runs smoothly, from the smallest detail to the final farewell. We understand that choosing a casket or a coffin is a deeply personal decision. In our selection room, we provide a calm, respectful environment where families can take their time and explore options that reflect their loved one's life, beliefs, and preference. Our spacious chapel is where memories are honored and lives are celebrated. Designed with serenity and warmth, it provides a welcoming space for families and friends to come together in reflection and remembrance. For families choosing cremation, we offer on-site professional cremation services in a setting that upholds dignity, peace, and confidentiality. Our crematorium offers a seamless and respectful alternative to traditional burial, giving families flexibility while maintaining the highest standard of care.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Friday. We are at the end of the work week. It's the 17th day of October 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi. This is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning, and my name is Akinwabi Holder, and yes, Adana, we are at the end of the week. You know, this is my favorite day of the week, my favorite day to come on air, and we hope that you were able to get things done for this week past, and if not, prepare for next week. We know next week will be very short, will be filled with activity because that will be Carnival week, Adana.
That's right. So for those of you, our viewers, you know, if you have your plans that you have already set in motion, but for some reason you might not have been able to follow through, let's see what we can do next week. You know, as Akinlabi said, it's a short week. Monday is a holiday, and next week we head straight into the Tobago Carnival festivities. There are so many things happening on the island next week, so try to get your due in before you head out to any of the events that you have planned to go out to. All right, we have a wonderful show for you. You know, it's Friday and we keep things nice, airy and light here on the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, but we still want you to be a part of the conversation. We still want you to join in and to have your say, and to do that you can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel at Tobago Updates. Before we get into all of those conversations, though, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Friday, 17th October 2025. As Trinidad moves to phase out long-standing state employment programs, Tobago is charting its own course. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine has assured that the island's version of CPEP and URP will continue to be restructured, not removed. He explained that Tobago had already reformed these initiatives under the PDP administration with higher pay, improved benefits, and direct management by the THA instead of contractors. Now repositioned to support food security and community development, these programs form part of Tobago's broader strategy backed by its larger budget allocation in 44 years. Up next, the opposition is prepared to respond to the government's 2026 budget, branding it a deception built on false promises. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles will deliver her budget response today in Parliament, her first since assuming the role in May. PNM officials said her address will reveal the $59.2 billion fiscal plan as a hoax by the UNC administration. The budget presented by Finance Minister Devindranath Thakur included ministry allocations, fine increases, and a $1 fuel price cut. And finally, with the Tobago October Carnival now in its 4th edition, calls are mounting for Caribbean Airlines to increase its daily flight schedule to Tobago. However, the Tobago October Carnival calendar of events start off this evening with Monarchs of Mars taking place at the Scarborough Market Square car park. Following this, the Carnival will debut a new event, Panomega, which introduces a panorama competition featuring 8 small conventional bands and 3 large bands, marking a fresh addition to Tobago's festive celebrations. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Brianna, for our news there in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to head on over to our birthday shout-outs. And this morning we start off the celebrations by saying happy birthday to Travis and Cherise Williams. Yes, Travis and Cherise are celebrating their birthday today. And what a day to celebrate their birthday on the beginning of the weekend. I can only imagine what they are up to. In fact, I've been following especially Travis's social media posts, and I know that he's planning to have a grand time. And I do wish them the absolute very best as they celebrate their 45th year on the planet Earth. Yes, and we give God thanks for their lives. So we say happy birthday to Travis and Cherise this morning as they celebrate their birthday today. We say God bless you, and we do hope that you have a wonderful and amazing birthday. Right, we continue the birthday celebrations. We say happy birthday to Maurice Kelton Clark. Who the handsome Kelton, Maurice Clark. Happy birthday to you. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday today. This is my batch, my classmates, and I want to say a very special happy birthday to you. And this is also coming from the class of 96, and we hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday today as you walk into favor this new year.
And we wrap up the birthday celebrations by saying happy birthday to Miss Marlene Roach. Happy birthday to you, Miss Roach. We wish God's richest blessings on you on this special day. And we know you're heading into the weekend celebrating from Friday right up to Sunday. Yes, and we pray that you will stay safe and reflect on God's richest blessings on your life. And we pray that in the upcoming year, He blesses you even more and you grow from strength to strength.
And remember, guys, even though we don't have your photographs and you are celebrating, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we join in the celebration with you, and we remind you to put God first, because He's the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. All right, so Akinlabi, it's Friday. We're heading on into the weekend and preparing for a short weekend festivities. Who are we having conversations with today?
Well, this Friday morning, we're having conversations with Dr. Faith Brebner, who is the Deputy Chief Secretary and the Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, and the representative for the Belgarden-Glamorgan Electoral District. And she's going to be talking to us about the 2025-2026 budget review, and then we're going to touch in on some politics as the TPP nominations close today. After that, on Fridays, we have our usual sports segment, and Mr. Cricket himself, Marcus Daniel, he'll be coming in and having conversations with John Prokop, who's a swimmer, and he recently concluded his swim around Tobago. It took him 48 hours, people. It took him 48 hours, and he'll be coming in to speak about his experience.
All right, viewers, we do hope that you stay tuned in for the conversation this morning. Remember, you can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel at Tobago Updates. We want to hear from you and we want you to be a part of the conversation. But before we get into all of that, we have to go for a break. And as we go, of course, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025 is on October 19th, 2025. Enjoy live entertainment, cultural performances, and the best local vibes with good people. Don't miss the festival where food meets culture. The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025, Sunday, October 19th at Bloody Bay Recreational Grounds. Check out their website at www.tobagofestivalscommission.com or follow on social media at Tobago Festivals for more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. Well, we begin conversations this morning. As you are aware, the national budget was read on Monday, and we have on the line with us Dr. Faith Brebner. And this morning we're going to do a budget review this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the conversation. Good morning, Dr. Brebner.
Good morning, and thanks for having me this morning.
Of course, a pleasure having you. And we must start off by saying Tobago got 5% of the national budget. Yes, I see the celebratory dance there. And of course, the additional 763 million from ministries that will take on projects here on the island of Tobago. So let's get into the conversation as it relates to, I know, building up to the reading of the budget. We had conversations with the Secretary of Finance. She said that she had, conversations with the minister, and he expressed the financial position of the country right now and the fact that she initially had demanded 5.9% and settling on 5% after the conversation, and now we at 6.3% if you calculate the addition. So let's get into the conversation as it relates to the allocation for Tobago.
So certainly. So I think what you just outlined is already a significant difference in what we are seeing. And that is the fact that the Secretary with responsibility for finance was actually able to have a real honest conversation with the Minister for Finance. By the way, since we've become the executive of the Tobago House of Assembly, this is the first time we can honestly say that we have been having real honest dialogue, that is conversations, not a talking down to, not a condescending, not a try all your best. No, for the very, very first time, we are actually having conversations. And that is why she was able to see, leading up to the election, that we already had an idea what we were going to get because we've been having conversations. And that is a significant difference between what we are experiencing now and what we've experienced for the last 3.5 years. And it is exactly why I think we have such a different outlook on what we can and will do with the monies that we have, because the environment within which it is given or it is being delivered is vastly different to the environment that we were in for the last couple of years. And I want to start off by introducing one quick term that in essence speaks about the environment that the money is given. And that is what we call smart money. Smart money is money or resources that you have where you can actually use the resources, where the policies are in place to use the resources, where you do not have to fight, for example, with the state resources who seem to be coming after you to shut down your projects. That kind of environment is what we think we are going into now, and we are excited to finally actually have smart money that we can use to develop Tobago.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about, I heard you mention smart money before in a previous interview, and you're talking now about freeing up money so that projects can be undertaken here on the island of Tobago. Now, when the allocation is made through the budget for the Tobago House of Assembly for us to do projects, is that money, are you saying that money is usually tied up, or are you talking about monies that come in terms of grants or international funding or access to international funds? Differentiate for me what this smart money actually is.
Yeah, and I'm glad you actually used the word tie up money, because that is the opposite of smart money. And tied up money is what we've been experiencing, and there are several examples. Let's use the example of us having a project. The road that was just commissioned leading to the new airport. That was an example of us having the resources. We have the contractor, we have the financial arrangement with the contractor where he pays and then we pay him back and all of that. We were ready to go with the project, but then EMA runs in, shuts down the project. Or we get an injunction from somebody who suddenly realizes that the property back there is theirs and the project is shut down. So that is an example of having resources to do what we need to do, but the environment was not a welcoming one. The environment was not one that was conducive to us actually going forward. Let's use another example, the example in my division as it relates to digitization of social protection. There was actually money, and it wasn't a lot, it was $50,000 that one of the UN agencies was ready and willing and had already started doing the work to give us. All they needed was a document from a minister to say, yes, go ahead. And the minister refused. As a matter of fact, I understand that the minister called them and told them to stop the project. Again, tie up money, which is the difference and the opposite to smart money. What we are experiencing now, what we hope we will continue to experience now, is getting financial resources and other types of resources. If you even listen to the Secretary Roberts, we were going to UN, for example, to get technical advice on how to develop our Tobago Development Fund and so forth. And all they needed to do was give a letter to the UN to say, yes, you all could go ahead and provide the technical advice to the Tobago House of Assembly. And they simply refused to do that. Again, tying up the resources that were allocated to the Tobago House of Assembly. And that is the big difference between what we are seeing now. What PNM was giving us before was tie up money. What we seem to be getting now is smart money, and we are really happy for that.
Thank you for the clarification there. Let's talk about the $763 million additional that will come from ministries. Have you been able, when I say you, the executive, have you been able to have a conversation in terms of what are some of these projects you are hoping to collaborate on, and what do you think the collaborative level would be in terms of central government coming in and assisting with these projects?
So that's a really good example. And this is another perfect example of what I am talking about. You have no idea how excited I am about this. This is the very, very first year since I've become secretary with responsibility for health, for example, where I can actually tell you that when they say the Ministry of Health is going to spend 100 million or whatever the figure is in Tobago, I actually know what they're talking about, because the Minister for Health and I have been communicating. The Minister for Health actually came to Tobago, visited the hospital, visited our cath lab in the hospital that needs to be refurbished, and basically said, Doc, this is something that is near and dear to my heart. I really, really want to work on improving the cath labs in Trinidad and Tobago. We would love for the cath lab in Tobago to be one of those that we rehabilitate as well. So I know for a fact, for the first time since I've become secretary, that there will actually be millions spent by the ministry in Tobago for Tobagonians. This has never happened before. As a matter of fact, with the projects before, we were supposed to get some jerseys for something that we ended up having to pay for the jerseys in Tobago because they never showed up. So again, even though in the past we have complained bitterly about this concept of monies in ministries being spent in Tobago, for the very first time we actually have the real collaboration that will allow the monies that the ministries are going to spend in Tobago to truly be part of the developmental plan that we in the Tobago House of Assembly have been a part of. And again, I am so excited about that possibility. So that is just one project. And if you speak to all of the secretaries, they will actually tell you the projects that the ministries, the line ministries, are working with them to ensure that whatever is done on the island is done with the respect and the understanding that the Tobago House of Assembly is really the entity managing here, and that we are working together to develop the island of Tobago.
Dr. Bebner, some of your colleagues on the other side are stating that there's a bit of, or it seems as though there's a bit of, I don't want to say deception or trickery, but things are not as what they seem in the budget. They're pointing towards the developmental program allocation for Tobago, whereas last year, under the last year of the PNM administration, they received 205 million, and this year you received 201 million, and they're claiming that there's silence from the executive on this matter. What is your response to that?
There isn't silence. What we are saying is that, okay, they are so disingenuous and they are so dishonest even with themselves. It is sad, because even the $205 million, that was a perfect example of PNM tie-up money. Because when we tried to do the work that we were trying to do with that money, it was not working out, because they are the ones who ensured that all of the regulatory state agencies were coming against us to prevent us from doing what we needed to do. They are the ones who ensure that, for example, when we have the Studley Park quarry and we need to get the license to do the exporting of the Studley Park quarry, we even if we try to buy the plant, it does not make sense because we don't have the license to export the aggregate from the quarry. They are the ones who have been tying up Tobago and Tobagonians for the longest while. So they should really, I honestly think they should stay silent when it comes to these things, because I think the problem that the TPP has been having is that we've been enduring the evil wickedness that they've been doing to us, and we've been trying to push along, and we've been trying to say to the people of Tobago, we can figure it out. And that is what we've been pushing and trying to do. So we now have a situation where we know for a fact that the $201 million, and by the way, we will be able to move monies around and make it what we need it. The $201 million being smart money is better any day, any year, any time than the 205 PNM tie-up money that we would not have been able, or we were not really able to use in a meaningful way for the people of Tobago. So those on the other side really need to just stay silent about these issues. Honestly, with what they've been doing to Tobagonians, they need to stay silent.
So you're stating with absolute confidence that you believe that with the administration, the new administration in power, that the relationship between the THA and the central government in terms of the releasing of funds would make it easier for development projects to take place in Tobago?
Yes, and let me give you another example. There are so many examples, even within such a short space of time. At the end of the financial year, I'm not sure if the Secretary for Finance mentioned it. At the end of the financial year, we do basically on the last day of the financial year a balancing, where we calculate how much resources that we have collected in Tobago, whatever taxes we collect in Tobago. We do the calculations and we say to the central government, hey, we've collected $10. That means you owe us $100 based on what the appropriation should have been for the year. This is the first year, very first year, where we've said to the central government, you owe us 100, and I think it was 160 million, whatever was the figure was. I can't remember what the exact figure was. And the check that the central government sent to Tobago was exactly the figure we said you owe us. This has never happened before. What has happened before is that we would hear silence, and then the Secretary for Finance would get a check and realize that that check is millions of dollars short. millions of dollars short. And because it is millions of dollars short, we now have to double back and figure out, what are we doing? How are we going to deal with this? Because what we expected to get was way less than what we actually got, and therefore we now have to figure out what to do. So yes, I am categorically stating that what we have experienced so far is a better relationship, is a relationship based on mutual respect that we are getting with the new central government, and we are happy for that, and we are going to continue respecting them as they respect us. We are going to continue working with them as they work with us, and we go from there.
All right. We look forward to continued improved relationships, because at the end of the day, we want to ensure that everybody in Tobago, all 60,000 strong of us, we are able to enjoy a better quality of life here on the island. Today is the budget debate. What is your position in terms of what do you think, or what are your expectations that will be coming in the budget debate discussion today?
Well, I mean, the budget debate is going to start with the opposition leader spewing all of the things that she thinks or the party thinks was wrong with the budget, which is sad, given that they were the ones managing the government for the last 10 years. So I really don't expect much from them. I expect her to continue, in essence, the same rhetoric that those in Tobago have continued, which is, it is not our fault. You all said you will fix it, so now fix it kind of thing, which if you are a rational adult, you would recognize that is actually a very childish, and it is a very irresponsible way to respond to things like these. So I don't have much hope. What I am excited about, though, is to hear what the other members of the government, when they go into details, what those details are, and for the people of Trinidad and Tobago to hear what those details are. Because, as I said before, this really is a collaboration that we've been working on, and there's quite a bit that you will hear when they speak, and then you will hear some of it again when we speak, when we do our reprioritization motion in November, which is to come shortly.
All right. I want to introduce to the conversation now. We know that very soon there should be a call for the Tobago House of Assembly elections. And we know that the TPP, for which you are the deputy political leader, had their nomination process for the past week or so, and I think today is the deadline. So just tell us a little bit in terms of the responses that you've been having from your members who have been putting forward themselves for nomination, and what your hopes are in terms of preparing and going into the election.
So we are really, really excited about this election. The potential of us continuing to manage the Tobago space for another 4 years is one that truly excites us. And we really hope that Tobagonians give us the opportunity to do that. Thus far, we have gotten such a overwhelming response. There are quite a number of seats where the number of contenders that we are hearing about is really, really excited. I mean, there are people reaching out to me who I didn't even know were thinking about contesting the election, but they have been putting in their nomination forms and doing what they need to do. So we are excited. Of course, the political leader and the chief secretary is the one who will actually announce when we will close the House, the current Tobago House of Assembly. He is the one who will also announce when the date of the election will be. And we just push forward from there. But we have our internal mechanisms that have been working. We are truly excited to be in a place where we could actually contest the election, because this will be our first Tobago House of Assembly election as Tobago People's Party. So we're excited about that as well. And our internal mechanisms have been working, and we know they will continue to work for us, but we're just hoping that the Tobago population actually gives us the opportunity to represent them for another 4 years.
I feel your excitement in terms of persons coming forward to nominate themselves for service, because I see it as service to Tobago, and I really am happy to see. What is the mix like? Do you have, in terms of the age group, the background, are we seeing young, are we seeing old, the grassroots people? What are we seeing in terms of people coming forward and nominating themselves, putting forward themselves for nomination?
we are seeing a really nice mix. The process will include us at the end of this nomination period. So by the way, if you have not submitted your nomination papers just yet, you have until 11:59 tonight to do so. Oh, by the way, mine ain't going yet. Oh gosh. Anyway, mine ain't going yet. But it will get there before 11:59. I've been so busy. It will get there before 11:59. I promise you that. But what we plan to do after that is that we will announce to the population, to Tobago, these are the people who've put their names up. Tell us what all you think. We also would go back to the district councils and to the action groups to say, hey, these 5 people put up their name for Belcan. Tell us what you think. Which one you think is the best one? And by the way, we really truly made it open for all 15 seats. So no matter which seat you want to contest in, you can put your name in for any of the 15 seats that are on the Tobago House of Assembly map. So when we make that announcement, I am sure Tobagonians will be very, very pleased with the names that pop up. From what I'm hearing so far and from what people are whispering, it will be a really nice toss-up, and the screening committee is going to have a hard time. The political leader is going to have a hard time making the final decision. But I'm excited. I'm really, really excited.
As you stated, Dr. Brebner, last question before you go. As you stated, all the seats are open. Does that mean that you can safely say that all the seats will be contested?
Oh yes, certainly. We will contest all 15 seats as Tobago People's Party. We have all of the seats are going to be contested. So that's why we opened it up. There is no reason for us to not contest any of the 15 seats, and we are hoping to have an even greater victory than the last time.
No, I meant in terms of candidates, the incumbents, no incumbent will go up uncontested for the nominations. They will all have somebody going up against them. That's what I meant.
So that depends on the population. There are some seats where we have quite a number of people throwing their hats in the ring, including the incumbent. There are some seats where we only have maybe 1 or 2 people throwing their hats in the ring. But the political leader, the wisdom of Farley Chavez Augustine, he told us very early in an executive council meeting, he told us very, very early, if you can't fight for your seat now, then you can't win your seat for election. Is as simple as that. So every single one is open, and every member of the Tobago People's Party is open and welcomed to submit their nominations for every single seat that we have here. So we have a couple of our members who are questioning whether this is what they want to continue doing and so forth. There are a couple who have been in the executive but not necessarily as an assemblyman, who are thinking or who have already thrown their hats into the ring to contest seats. Listen, it's going to be fun. These next couple months are going to be real fun.
And Dr. Brebner, while you are having fun, remember that your nomination papers are yet to go in, as you mentioned this morning. So don't miss out on the fun. Remember, you have to fight for your seat too if you want a chance in this Tobago House of Assembly elections. And we await the date. We await the announcement from the political leader and the chief secretary as he, prepares for that as well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and having conversations this morning. Thank you for, your commitment to service and of course, your positive outlook in terms of the partnership with the ministry, the central government of Trinidad and Tobago as well, with the Tobago House of Assembly for all of us here on the island of Tobago. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend ahead.
Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Dr. Faith Brebner, Deputy Political Leader of the Tobago People's Party and the Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations. Remember, after we come back from the break, Mr. Cricket, Marcus Daniel, will be in studio and he'll be talking all things sports. In fact, he's speaking with Mr. John Prokop. He had his swim around the island last week. Was it last week? So he's going to talk about that this morning. So do stay with us. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a break. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
official hub for Tobago Carnival 2025. Tobago Updates presents the We Carnival series, where mass meets culture. Stay locked in for your chance to win tickets to hottest carnival events, a carnival bar hopping experience for you and your crew, and a weekend stay at Mandalina Grand Hotel. It's happening right here. Tobago Updates, We Carnival.
The road is calling. Tobago Carnival. Neon is coming. Presenting the Mashup King himself, DJ Kai, alongside the voice of the people, Boy Boy. The dynamic duo bringing pure fire to the road, CSI Khaled and Selecta Stefan. And Tobago's own, the people's champion, DJ Big Youth. This is Neon Night Mass. One road, one rhythm, one experience. Tobago Carnival 2025. We outside.
Tobago, are you ready to light up the night? Join us for the Lambo Credit Union's Moonlight Miles for Diabetes Glow Walk 2025.
On Saturday, November 15th at Canoe Bay Nature Resort, we'll walk, glow, and raise awareness for a healthier tomorrow.
From 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Bring your family and friends for plenty glow energy.
Registration is just $180 per person, or grab your crew of 5 for only $150 each.
Sign up online or at Lambo Credit Union branches before October 31st.
For more registration and payment details, visit lambocreditunion.com and search Moonlight Miles today.
The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025 is on October 19th, 2025. Enjoy live entertainment, cultural performances, and the best local vibes with good people. Don't miss the festival where food meets culture. The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025, Sunday, October 19th at Bloody Bay Recreational Grounds. Check out their website at www.tobagofestivalscommission.com or follow on social media at Tobago Festivals for more.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Nirvana, Tobago's premier all-inclusive event for Carnival 2025. Join us for a night of elegance, energy, and unmatched vibes at Fête à Blanc. Come dressed in your finest island chic white attire and indulge in a premium carnival experience like no other. Experience live performances by Nadia Batson and Sass, Patrice Roberts and the 18 Band, Shawn Marshall, Lyrical, Ramonapi, Juby, and many more. Get your tickets now at islandlytickets.com. Physical tickets available in Trinidad at SIP on the Avenue, Showaholic, Trin City Mall, Port of Spain, and Center City Mall. Happy's Waterhole, Pleasantville, Avala, Hotland Plaza, in Tobago, Barcode Scarborough, Deltec Distributors, Argyle, Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Jade Monkey Crown Point, Showaholics Lowland, and any committee member. Immerse, illuminate, indulge. Saturday 25th October 2025 from 5 p.m. at the magnificent Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. Dress code Highland Chic, all white. Nirvana. Fête à Blanc, where luxury meets rhythm and elegance meets euphoria. Don't just attend, arrive in style.
Rise and shine, Tobago. The breakfast vibes you've been waiting for is here.
When he rum, tell you use a big dancer.
It's time for Sun Up Tobago, the ultimate breakfast inclusive pool party that kicks off your carnival in style.
We come to take shots. She come to take shots.
Join us on Thursday, October 23rd from 6 a.m. to 12 noon at Scarborough House, 138 Milford Road. Music pumping, breakfast sizzling, coolers flowing, and vibes unmatched. This is where sun, sea, soca, and celebration collides. Get your early bird tickets now at Pablo Supermarkets, Barcode, Lost Restaurant and Launch, Signature Cuts, IslandEtickets.com, and committee members. Don't miss the event where Tobago Carnival truly begins. Sun Up Tobago. Come for the breakfast, stay for the vibe.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hi, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Tobago Updates Television. It's Friday, 17th October. Yes, we are still in the best month of the year, October. And we're celebrating all months, you know. Of course, we are into the sporting segment and we are getting ready to talk to two phenomenal guys. In fact, how should I say you are an open water swimmer, professional swimmer? How should I describe you?
Well, I think open water swimmers.
Open water swimmers.
Or even wild swimmers.
Wild swimmers.
Wild swimmers is a good one. Yeah, right.
So I'm very delighted to have you guys on set here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
You know, we're talking to Mr. John Pocope and, of course, Mr. Richard Conibear.
That's right.
I got it right.
Yeah, you got it right first time.
I got it right. Thank you guys so much for being here this morning. And we're talking about this attempt you made to swim around Tobago, right? And then I was told that you stopped at Charlottesville, or just off Charlottesville.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah, so tell me more about that.
Well, Richie, how far did we make it? It was Delaford.
It's Delaford?
Yeah, so we actually passed Charlottesville.
Right.
Yeah.
We squeezed through the gap between St. Giles Islands, and we traversed that northeastern coastline and came into Speyside. And then after being greeted on the jetty by some really, really enthusiastic and warm-hearted supporters, we then continued on and went around the corner out of Speyside and headed down past Kings Bay to Delaford.
Right.
And that's where we met the currents that would not let us pass.
Yeah, that's where we got a real jam in.
So for those who probably aren't aware of the currents, right? Because, I mean, you started where? You started Storby, and you got all the way to Delaford, and then you say you met currents at Delaford. So for those who aren't aware about the currents and the swimming and all these different things, you can just break that down for me.
Absolutely. Well, high tide, low tide.
Right.
When the current is falling, or when the tide is falling, rather, and when the tide is rising, you can have different effects on the currents. Unfortunately for us, it was tide falling when we reached the area between St. Giles and Speyside. So we had a lot of very hard current coming around from Charlotteville to Speyside.
Right.
And that was actually where the current was hardest. However, then when we did reach Delaford, we encountered more very, very strong currents.
So and the attempt was to go from Storby to, what was your finishing point?
Storby.
You just go back to Storby.
Yeah, that was the quest.
Yes.
But,
yes.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the amount of resistance we had, especially as Johnny was saying, around St. Giles. And if it wasn't for David McLean, the captain, and his knowledge of the waters and the conditions and where to swim, where not to swim. Primarily, you could see that on the surface that there was like rivers that you were having to run up against. I mean, even salmon would have had a problem. But yes, I mean, my personal sort of night swim assistance. Of course, Johnny had sort of already done 10 hours from Storby to Castara, and when I got in the water, it was pitch black, and never done anything like that before. But you really, your inner critic, you have to really keep under control, because you know the affirmations that you have to tell yourself, it's all imagination, because you can't see a thing.
Wow.
You know, and then on top of that, the captain was saying, because there was currents from Castara running up or running down, should we say, as we were going towards Charlotteville. We had to swim really close to the rocks, because that was where the least route of resistance. But at the same token, you're seeing these rocks at the side of you, and you're thinking, Christ, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable here. Can I sort of move a little bit sort of outside? No, you can't do that, because that's where the currents were strongest. So yes, it was a test. You know, a lot of it a mind game, but physically, you have to really sort of fight through what your body or what your body is telling your mind.
So is it gonna be that's it for the attempt to come from you're gonna try it again?
That's Johnny's call. It was his gig.
I think Richie and I, being teammates, and the rest of the team, I think it's all unanimous.
Yeah.
I mean, we understand that due to circumstances beyond our control, we were sort of cornered into going on this particular weekend. And generally speaking, especially from what we've learned in the past attempts to swim from Tobago to Trinidad, is you cannot choose a date. And unfortunately, on this occasion, you know, as I said, due to circumstances, we had to. And so we made the best of it. And we had to postpone from Friday, because you know we had the Saturn moon, harvest moon.
Oh, because I wanted to ask it as well.
Those huge tides.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, we had one of the storms coming straight from Africa, which swung north, almost became a hurricane. And so it was very unideal conditions. Even though we postponed until Monday, it still wasn't great.
It wasn't great.
You know, and this kind of a swim is such a mammoth sort of challenge that you really need to give yourself the best chance to accomplish it by choosing the right conditions. You know, so we did all right considering, but also in addition to the heavy currents and the rough seas, we also had, because of the rains earlier on in the weekend, the rivers came down. So Bloody Bay and Palatuvier and Castara rivers emptied out into the sea. So we were swimming in darkness, in a state of sensory deprivation, and in addition to that, we were being hit by debris like pieces of bamboo.
And that can freak you out a little bit with the detritus that we're having to sort of
swim through.
Wow. And how many days it took you guys to get to Delaford? And I mean, how does it work? You get into the water, like what time you get out?
Okay, so we got into the water at Stowe Bay, and we had 30-minute intervals of swimming.
30 minutes, okay.
With a couple of minutes of break so that we can hydrate and, drink and eat what we needed to keep our fuel up. And then we keep on going. It was continuous swimming. And basically, it took us 33 and a half hours to get to the point in Delaford at which the captain called it. And the entire crew, including myself and Richard, we all agreed unanimously that this was the best that we could do, and because of safety reasons, that we should not push it and take any stupid chances.
So tell me about the team itself, because you keep mentioning team. So you have yourself, and you have Mr. Connie Bear here, and the other members of the team.
Oh, well, we had a fantastic team. Richard,
William.
William
William Carr, he was the other support swimmer.
So support swimmer.
We also had Jacob Cox.
Right. Oh yeah, national triathlete.
That's right. The top triathlete in Tobago, young Jacob Cox. Right. He joined us from Stowe Bay to Pigeon Point. He's recovering from a car accident.
Oh.
So he did a fantastic job. To do that first part of the swim. And then we had the Predator team, didn't we, Richard?
Yeah. Oh, so they were along with the boat.
Absolutely. That's Captain David McLean.
Right.
And that's also Captain Kester Alexander.
Yeah.
So we had to have two captains and two navigators because obviously they had to take it in shifts.
Oh, okay.
We did not have any doctors on board. However, most of the crew are emergency first response and CPR certified.
Okay.
So we also had Michael McLean and David McLean Jr. And we had my friend Darren C. Prasad. And we had Mr. Leroy George. And of course, we cannot forget our cameraman, Maurice Alexander.
I know.
And he was a photo engineer and a drone man, underwater shots, everything. And our star kayaker, Keon Thomas.
Right. This is a full team, you guys. A full team.
Full team effort.
Absolutely. We needed and also land support. My partner Dagmar Book, she came on for the night shift to help us with the feeding, you know, and we had lots of friends and family and other well-wishers supporting us in crucial areas along the way. So we have to say that we have to applaud our team. It would not be possible without the team.
But how do you guys prepare for such a long swim, mentally and physically? How do you prepare for something like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, Johnny's primarily a sort of pool swimmer, very powerful. My swimming is more sort of I tend to be a bit of a plodder, so I have done open water swimming for since I first arrived here, sort of 24 years ago. So my swims were always sort of from at the bottom of my road in Blackrock to Plymouth Point and back. So it was it's not sort of a high octane kind of sort of sport.
Recreational.
It's very it's almost like a long walk. And that's how you see you're not. I mean, of course, there were sections like we mentioned with the currents where you do have to sort of kick and push to get through. But primarily, you're just in a very sort of neutral state almost.
Where's your mind at? I mean, what do you think about?
Well, that's meditative. It is. You're breathing. It's like a sort of an inner symphony that you can kind of make with the sounds. You're off on your own trip, basically, and that's the beauty of it. It is kind of, it could be deemed as being a bit lonely, but
like running.
The same token, yeah. But the same token, you thought we come together because we have that shared experience where we're off on our own journeys, our own trips.
Yeah, and Johnny, for you, I mean, you're thinking about a slice of cake, having some beer somewhere. What do you think about?
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, I'm very much like Richie in this. You know, I don't really have many thoughts that stick. Like, if something might come in my head and it goes out just as quickly, and it is sort of a rhythmic meditation. I have to say that it's an exercise in perfecting your swimming technique, because the longer you swim, the better your technique needs to be, so that you conserve energy and you reduce drag and you increase efficient propulsion. So just to get your stroke right needs a certain amount of concentration, and that's really all that you're doing, is trying to make sure that your stroke is right. So you're adjusting things a little bit along the way, and I can't really say that I think about anything much, which is probably what makes it such a relaxing, therapeutic activity.
Don't overthink.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the key.
And any disappointment at all at not competing this time?
Not one bit. No. We thoroughly feel like we...
Well, it's an achievement.
I like that.
To give yourself 100% effort, then what more can you do?
And we had a great time.
Yes.
We had a fantastic time doing it. We had a lot of fun. And the main thing is, you know, we're proud of our efforts, and the whole team arrived back to port safe and sound. No one had as much as even a nick. You know, apart from, of course, our collective salt tongues.
Yes, a bit of salt tongues.
Which is the worst part of it.
But
no, we're definitely very happy with our performance, and we're very grateful to have been able to complete it safely. And we're very happy that so many people supported us, and in particular, supported our causes, which was to raise money for our 2 NGOs, which are specific to the causes that we're swimming for. And that's both of these NGOs are local.
Yes.
One is Species, and they deal with ocean research and conservation. And so they're protecting the seas and conserving, you know, the territorial waters of Tobago and Trinidad.
That's fantastic.
Yes, and the other NGO is the AquaSmart Foundation. And this is a brainchild of Aquatica Swim School. And these guys are very, very accomplished at Learn to Swim programs. And this is really where we're at. We think that, you know, all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and everyone in the wider Caribbean should have access to learning to swim. And of course, you know, I think, and I'm sure Richie agrees with me, that, you know, children, it's just as important for them to learn how to swim as it is for them to do mathematics and to learn to read and write.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Especially we are surrounded by water.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You know, so I think that on all levels, it was a success. And of course, it left us hungry for more. Yes, we will be doing it again.
That's the next question. Because and it's commendable that, because why would you try to swim around Tobago? But now I'm aware that it's all about raising awareness and of course raising funds for NGOs, and that's commendable. And I wish you guys all the best on the quest. But so what's next? What's the next big thing for Johnny and Mr. Cunningham here?
Well, at the moment, I'm just sort of basking in the joy of being able to going through what we went through, and the highs that you get from that, and they kind of supersede the sort of like the suffering that you go through.
Everybody true. Yeah.
So we're just enjoying the moment.
Fantastic.
Yes, enjoying the moment, taking it easy, recovering, and I mean, we can't lose sight of the fact that we want to develop sport tourism in Tobago, and we definitely would like to bring Ocean Man swimming to Tobago. This is an international swimming competition that does 10-kilometer swims as well as 5 and 3-kilometer swims, and then shorter swims for children. So we're trying to bring Ocean Man to Tobago. We're trying to develop the sport of wild swimming, open water swimming in Tobago. And we'll see how we do it one step at a time.
Yeah, fantastic. I think what you guys are doing, I mean, I can't do it. The most I can swim is from here to the shoreline and back. But I mean,
but I grew up. I bet you could climb a balata tree better than me. Well,
you know, so everyone has their own. Because I grew up in Castor, right?
Right.
So I mean, I can swim, but not to the distance you guys normally go.
You grew up in Castor?
I grew up in Castor.
Well, we would like to give a special shout out to our brothers in Castor.
Yes.
And that would be Keyshawn.
Walker. Yes, man.
That's right, the Walker family.
They live for the sea. They live for the sea as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'd like to give a big shout out to them because they actually provided essential boat support to us in Castor in the night and helped bring
They brought me on board
and take whoever had to get off the boat.
Friendly people in Castor.
The best.
Yes, indeed. Now, guys, I mean, anything before you go? Anybody you want to thank again before you go?
Oh, well, we would definitely love to thank our sponsors. Everyone who helped us make this possible, everyone who stood by us and supported us, and just in general, all of the well-wishers, people from abroad who sent donations on Donate68, people who contributed to the online donations for the NGOs, everyone who took interest, people who went from village to village to try and get people on board and let people know what was going on. Unfortunately, we swam a little bit far from shore.
Right. So they couldn't get
a lot of people didn't have a really good view.
Right.
But some people found some good perches.
I followed on social media as well, and that was really good.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Always in the media as well. I think, wonderful awareness, and I'm looking forward to seeing in the future that competition or event that you want to bring to Tobago, because you mentioned sport tourism.
Absolutely.
Even earlier this year we had this diving competition.
Well, I tell you what. I mean, if we were to have Ocean Man come to Tobago, I mean, the Ocean Man is a spin-off of Iron Man, but for swimming. So if we were to have Ocean Man come to Tobago and start doing open water swimming in Tobago, this is one of the most spectacular places in the world for open water swimming, we think. And so I think that it would generate a lot more interest and many more people would come. And I think it would do far better than the diving competition, although that did seem fun as well.
It seemed fun, yes.
So I've got my fingers crossed, and Richie and I are both, hoping that we'll see some development in this area.
I'm sure you're going to get it. Okay. Guys, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
I mean, go and get your rest, and of course, continue to bask in the, the enjoyment of getting back safely, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Guys, we've been chatting here with Mr. Johnny and, of course, Mr. Canivier. We're all talking about the attempt to swim around Tobago. They got very far, but not this time. I think next time they're going to, get it successfully done. Before we go to the break, remember, it's on tonight. It's all about Tobago Carnival. It's a Monarchs of Mass. That's happening tonight, and they call it Carnival City. That's Market Square. Carnival City will be in Market Square. Tobago Carnival will start next week. But tonight, it's all about the Monarchs of Mars. Get down there at Market Square, the Carnival City tonight from 7 p.m. And check that out. Going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and talk to we're talking about some big ball events out of the Oceanus Track and Boat Club. Don't forget, share the live, share the live, share the live.
The official hub for Tobago Carnival 2025. Tobago Updates presents the We Carnival series, where mass meets culture. Stay locked in for your chance to win tickets to hottest carnival events, a carnival bar hopping experience for you and your crew, and a weekend stay at Mandalina Grand Hotel. It's happening right here. Tobago Updates, We Carnival.
Tobago, are you ready to light up the night? Join us for the Lambo Credit Union's Moonlight Miles for Diabetes Glow Walk 2025.
On Saturday, November 15th at Cano Bay Nature Resort, we'll walk, glow, and raise awareness for a healthier tomorrow.
From 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Bring your family and friends for plenty glow energy.
Registration is just $180 per person, or grab your crew of 5 for only $150 each.
Sign up online or at Lambo Credit Union branches before October 31st.
For more registration and payment details, visit lambocreditunion.com and search Moonlight Miles today.
The road is calling. Tobago Carnival. Neon is coming. Presenting the Mashup King himself, DJ Kai, alongside the voice of the people, Boy Boy. The dynamic duo bringing pure fire to the road, CSI Khaled and Selecta Stefan. And Tobago's own, the people's champion, DJ Big Youth. This is Neon Night Mass. One road, one rhythm, one experience. Tobago Carnival 2025. We outside.
The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025 is on October 19th, 2025. Enjoy live entertainment, cultural performances, and the best local vibes with good people. Don't miss the festival where food meets culture. The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025, Sunday, October 19th at Bloody Bay Recreational Grounds. Check out their website at www.tobagofestivalscommission.com or follow on social media at Tobago Festivals for more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hey guys, welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned to Tobago Updates Television. Friday, 17th October, into the sporting segment. Really good conversation there with the open water swimmers. Wow, yeah, not gonna attempt that whatsoever. I'm now chatting with Jesse Alfred out of the Oceanos Dragon Boat Club. And we're not talking Dragon Boat this morning, we're talking something different that the Oceanos Dragon Boat Club, they're going to be introducing to Tobago. Jesse, tell me all about this open ball, what is that?
Big ball
volleyball tournament. Let's chat about that.
All right. So the big ball volleyball tournament is a new sport, actually. Yeah. So the big ball volleyball is a new sport. So not just Tobago, we want to introduce it to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, so it's a new sport in Trinidad and Tobago,
yes.
But it happens elsewhere.
Well, it's a new sport.
This is indigenous to Oceanos. Wow.
Right? So with this sport now, it's a team sport, right? And with the team sport now, what we're trying to do, we're trying to make sure that you come and do with each person, with everybody. It's not a sport where you could just go and say, I alone do it. Right? Okay, now there are plenty of rules to it also.
Right.
Now it's basically, I don't use the word knockoff, but it's basically a little tweak to the original volleyball.
But the ball is bigger, much bigger. I wish your producer can pull up that video for me. Yes, so the ball is much bigger and they're trying to get the ball.
Over. So it's 6 persons on a team.
Yeah.
3 females, 3 males.
Right.
Now, the objective is to try to get the ball over the net and try to get the other person, the other team, to falter or let the ball fall on the ground, just like volleyball in a whole.
Yes.
Right. Now, this tournament is going to take place on the 6th and 9th of November.
Right. And what's the venue?
The venue is at Mount Pleasant Recreational Grounds.
Yeah.
Right. So as you all seen it here, advertising.
Yeah.
Right on the screen. Good. So there's a QR code on the advertisement that you can scan.
To
register. Okay.
Is that $5,000?
Yes.
So that's what you're winning, or that's in prizes?
That is what you are winning. Plus a challenge trophy.
So we're gonna have just like how the Flyers did. We're gonna have the net. We're going to have the big ball, 6 persons per team.
6 persons.
And it's like male, or you can have a combination of male and female?
So it must have, while the game is in progress, it must have 3 males and 3 females.
And 3 females. And any age group in particular, because this is a very big ball?
No, it's basically catered for adults.
For adults only, right?
So far.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. But how did Oceanos at Dragon Boat Club come up with something like this? Why not a Dragon Boat tournament? How did you all arrive at this event?
No, the whole thought was it started from a guy named Jomo Daniel.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So we and other members also.
Yeah.
So they trashed it out and was
Mhm.
like, okay, so how can we come up with something very, fun?
Yeah.
Right? At the same time, bring a whole camaraderie because Dragon Boat is
Yes,
about
yes. And team sport as well,
team
yes.
sport as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Right? So it went, and then also they made the volleyball arena at
Blackrock. Yes, yes.
Right? So you tell yourself, okay, so the ideas start flowing. Right? So this is how it all started.
Yeah.
And then we just start to just manifest it and bring it forward.
But where you got the ball though?
That ball is a custom made ball.
A custom, because if it is that this is a new sport.
Yes,
I mean, who made that ball? But
yeah,
that's
it's a custom made
it's
ball.
good. It's good thinking on the part of Oceanos in that outside of Dragon Boat, you guys are looking for initiatives that can keep the team going.
Yes.
And of course, introducing it to the Tobago public. Look at it here. So you don't have the net here, but you're giving a demonstration. Of what you're going to be doing. Now, what's the weight of the ball?
I will say approximately.
But it's easy to lift up like that, right? Right.
Yeah, once it's a team.
Right,
full
once it's a team. But it's not heavy. And you're not sure the weight.
And that's precisely the weight.
Yeah.
But the ball is about like 12 feet in height.
And the key here, so once it's just thrown over, you must go right over. Like, so I'm guessing this guy is acting as a net, right? And then must go straight over.
Yes, and the ball must not touch net at no point in time.
At no time, right? And then how you score points? Once it drops there.
Right, once it drops,
yeah.
The next team is allotted 2 points.
So so what you go to? How many points you go to?
Well, it's based on time.
Oh, it's time?
Yes. So it's 20 minutes for the game.
Right.
Right. 8 minutes a half.
Right.
And 4 minutes half time.
Oh.
Yeah.
So during the halves, once you like, so across there'll be, if it drops on the ground, that's 1 point.
Yes. That's
all right.
Okay.
Right.
And if it goes outside,
yes.
So
there'll be lines on the ground as well.
Just like
a volleyball.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The net is about approximately 6 to 8 feet.
Okay.
Right, in height. Now, based on the competition.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously when we're getting down into it, like finals, we're gonna raise the height of the
This
net
is fun.
As we go along.
So and then there'll be 2 referees.
No, actually there'll be 2 main referees.
Yeah.
Right, and 4 linesmen.
Yeah. So and then the key here, Jesse, if you have to be successful, because I mean it's fun and it's a new sport, right?
Yes.
Technique in catching the ball. What's the technique there? And then so it's to catch it and then to get it back over.
And to get it back.
You can hold it. Can you hold it for an extended period?
Well, you have 10 seconds to
retain or 10 seconds to retain the ball.
Seconds.
So on the point of contact, you have 10 seconds to get it back over. And if you don't get it back over in 10 seconds, you lose a point.
You lose a point.
All right. So given the date and time of this competition again.
All right. So it's the date, the 8th and the 9th of November. Starting at 6 o'clock.
6 p.m. 6 p.m. So it's on the lights, right?
On the lights. Okay,
right.
At the Mount Pleasant Recreation.
Mount Pleasant Recreation Ground. And who can attend? Anybody can attend.
Anybody can attend.
Right. And of course, where can they get the information? Is there a number?
So on the registration form, right? There's a number.
Yeah.
Right. And also on the registration form, we will get your number also.
Okay.
Because there's a time that we will allot a date.
Yes.
Right. We'll call the teams as they register to give them a date to get a feel of the sport.
Right.
A feel of the ball before they come to the competition.
Understood. So they can get this information on what? Facebook?
All our pages. Facebook,
Oceanos,
Instagram, Oceanos page.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's Oceanos Dragon Boat Club on Facebook.
Yes.
So you can get the information, folks, on Oceanos Dragon Boat social media pages. And register. This seems like something that I would be interested in, but I think you have to have a height advantage as well, no way. Yes. Jesse, we got to leave it here this morning.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the 8th and the 9th for this new tournament, a new competition in Tobago, and I'm sure it's going to catch on, and they're going to have more in Tobago. Guys, this has been the sporting segment on a Friday, the 17th of October, the best month of the year. I want to wish you guys a wonderful rest of your day. Ensure that you remain safe, and I'll see you guys come next week. Enjoy your weekend. Go up there in Blue Food and try not to eat all. Yes? I'm going to see you guys next week. Don't forget, on the next side of the hour, on the next side of the break, we're going to have Natalie with Good Morning Tobago. But don't forget to share the live, share the live, share the live.
LambFest 2025, now in its third year, being the second event on the calendar for the World Food Day celebrations, did not disappoint, as it showcased the culinary skills of our local chefs here on the island. This unique event also saw scores of people eager to taste and enjoy the festivities.
Today, we gather not just to celebrate our third annual LambFest, but to honor the hard work, passion, and resilience of Tobago's farmers, chefs, and entrepreneurs who continue to drive our island agricultural success. LambFest is more than just an event. It's a showcase of innovation, community, and the rich culinary heritage that makes Tobago unique. Each dish, each display, and each conversation today tells a story of dedication and progress.
All of this started 3 years ago in my conference room at the Division of Food Security. The Tobago Integrated Livestock Association, they were now forming, and they understood that the small ruminant industry needed to be developed on the island. And I gave them that responsibility of assisting us at the division to develop the small ruminant industry, because it was non-existent. We hardly had any stock on the farms. And 3 years later, we're now having 3 LambFests in Tobago.
This is the first LambFest where all the meats have been sold out, have been purchased by the caterers. We have 18 caterers on site, and every bit of the meat will purchase. We have no fresh meat. This is the first year, no fresh meat on sale for patrons. So I would say that everything is working in accordance and the market is really developing. I see the LambFest being franchised and possibly being spread out throughout the Caribbean. Who knows, probably international as well.
My name is Gillian. I'm from the UK. And I'm staying here for a little while. I was told by my friend that about this LambFest, and it's fantastic. My first bite, one of many, it's absolutely so delicious.
I think it's a great initiative because it's a interesting spin on approach to food security in a way that I think Tobagonians could relate to. It's a food festival, so everybody comes, with a belly in their hand and a fair amount of curiosity as to what the caterers will present this year. And so far, I'm not disappointed. This is my family.
Well, my experience has been good. The food is excellent. And I suppose when you come here, you will get lamb in different styles that you don't normally do at home. So that's why I come.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Good morning. You are viewing GMT Good Morning Tobago. I'm your host, Natalie Seeley Richardson, and it's always a pleasure to spend my Friday morning with you. This morning, we talk all things budget. That is the conversation, whether you're in the taxi or at work, even at home. And joining us this morning is Dr. Vanish James, economist, and we will continue to have that conversation this morning as we examine different features presented in the budget and what it means for us as Twin Island Republic and, of course, Tobago. Dr. James, good morning.
Good morning, Natalie.
And of course, welcome once again to Tobago Updates Television, GMT this morning. And of course,
invitation.
yes. And as I mentioned, a lot of voices are sharing their opinions. And I heard the Prime Minister describe this budget as one for the people. And some of the key highlights that she, amongst others, are using to support this description would be, of course, the reduction of the super fuel by $1, the creation of the 5 million Women's Health Fund to deal with period poverty, the creation of the $475 million employment fund, and I think that goes along with another figure that is supposed to help transition the URP workers, etc. And things like that. Do you agree with that statement? And let's begin there, that this is a budget for the people.
Well, yeah, I mean, one can agree with the Prime Minister's characterization, but I will have a different way to interpret that. Because of the system of government we work with, we run an authoritarian system of government. And the population really operates as a kind of set of bystanders watching the cabinet do its thing. And in that context, waiting for goodies to drop from the cabinet's table. And if you operate on that basis and you don't have to really take responsibility for what the government does, then you are happy when you get a $1 decline in the price of gas or any of all of those kinds of things.
Right.
But you don't do development that way. The authoritarian system of government ultimately has proven over 70 years to be a failure.
Right. And of course, there's the other side to the conversation where, people are not seeing it as a budget for the people, but rather one as it gives, it takes away from us. There's the addition of the electricity surcharge for commercial industrial customers. You have the 2026 increased NIS rates. You have the removal of the subsidy from the 100-pound gas. And not just restaurants or food places use it, but some homeowners use it as well. When you look at this part of the budget or these features, is it that, we have to lose a lot more?
Well, as I said, given the system we're running, what you're doing is you're watching cabinet at work. The cabinet is juggling to solve fundamental problems that we have. You have to find a way to finance the budget, and in particular finance the deficit component of the expenditure program. And so government might try to please people by giving the $1 and all of the period poverty solutions and all of those kinds of things. But on the other hand, it has to find a way to finance, and that means you have to impose higher customs duties in effect, and all of these other things that you see in the budget. It's juggling, and it is juggling. It is not the population that is involved in a process of working out the solutions.
Right.
So you kind of do not have a people responsible for what the government is doing. It's the government doing its thing. That ultimately is not a good approach to the way we want to solve our problems, but that's what we have.
Right. And of course, a budget is a plan. How does the government deal with changes to come? Because you mentioned it's a deficit budget, of course. The budget presentation was pegged on a barrel of oil at $73.25 US, I think, and gas at $4.25, I believe, right? And we know that the numbers are nowhere there currently and hasn't been for a while. So how does government deal with this? Because the figures are based on pegging income, part of the income or revenue to be raised with those figures. What if we never get there? What are we looking at?
Well, I mean, the budget is constructed from the revenue side in two components. One component relies heavily on those projected prices for oil and gas, and that's the take from the energy sector, $11.54 billion of revenues.
Right.
If you don't realize those, prices, what's going to happen is that take will fall dramatically, maybe 9 billion, 8 billion, depending on the level to which the prices rise, if they do rise.
Right.
And that would add to the deficit in effect, and that would force the minister to adjust maybe on the fly or adjust midterm as the law allows him to do. So in the end, that is the fundamental risk we are running. That's one half of the story. The other half of that story is that when you do not realize the projected prices on which you link the budget, the rest of the economy depends heavily on foreign exchange inflows from the energy sector. And when that foreign exchange doesn't come in, several things happen. The import cover is likely to decline. This is an import-intensive economy, and that's going to spell trouble. You remember, we had 5.4 months now of import cover.
Right.
That's on the knife edge, as it were. So that's half of the problem. But the other half is that when the businesses can't get access to foreign exchange, effectively the output of the non-energy sector will fall. And when that falls, the revenue projected, the 45 or so $billion of revenue projected from that sector will also not be realized. And that's the conundrum we find ourselves in. And we have found ourselves in every decade from 1956.
And you as you made those comments, I can't help to think that we are in that place already, because you have a lot of businesses who are having a lot of issues getting foreign exchange to make their purchases, to offer it for sale. And you hear the complaint, you see the banks every couple of months sending out notices saying your credit card limit on the US side is now less per month. You can only use this amount per day. And I know you have been a very strong advocate for diversification. Is diversification going to help us solve this? And again, when you were here last time we spoke, I did mention that this conversation seems to be never ending, because we've been hearing about it. But who really has the will to begin the process for us to come away from the dependency as the economy changes from this oil and gas, pegging so much of our revenue on the oil and gas industry? Because we see the changes dramatically throughout the world, and we may not be able to really, hone in as we used to years ago and said, yes, this is what we will get, and our economy is safe.
Well, let me respond to you this way. The fundamental responsibility for the country rests in the citizenry, not the government. And it's the people of Trinidad and Tobago who must ultimately push their parties, push their institutions, push in the election season, and so on, to force the collective, all of us acting together, to take on the fundamental problems we have, a big part of which is solved by the diversification agenda. But what the population has to understand is you cannot address the diversification problem as a people unless we cook up a system of government that allows all of us to bring information properly to the decision-making process. So over 70 years that I have watched it happen, governments have never moved in the direction of diversification, preferring to bet on the luck of oil and gas. Now, we've always known that you have to do it. All my life as an economist, we've known that. We've preached that. Right. Not from me alone. I mean, economists before me were saying that. To get there, we have to make good policy. To make good policy, we have to reform the system of government. To get there, we have to tackle the problem the Prime Minister has promised to bring solutions to, which is the CPEP-URP type problem. We have a large pool of the labor force that is undereducated. That's an expression of the undercapitalization of the economy.
Right.
And you solve that problem with diversification. So all of those things tie to that. And then the Tobago economy cannot be developed unless we solve the diversification problem. Tobago itself is an expression of the non-diversified economy. You can't develop tourism in Tobago unless you push the development of exportable education, exportable healthcare, and so on. That's what diversification means in Trinidad and Tobago. That sort of stuff. So in the end, what we have to have is a population that demands, in all the ways it can, that we set up the government to make sound policy, to push in this direction. You cannot get down that road unless the government is set up properly. There is one dimension of that that is directly our responsibility. A big part of the entrepreneurship that will deliver exportable education, exportable healthcare in the right forms, exportable creative industries in the right forms, and so on. A big part of that entrepreneurship is not the private sector, and it's not the central government or the THA. It's the communities. When you look at successful countries that have done this around the world, you see it in the local communities.
Right.
In Britain, you see it in London and Manchester, and that's
Yes.
the sort of thing you have to understand. So the citizenry all over the society and the communities must ultimately say, look, our turn has come for us to wake up and play our role as a big part of the entrepreneurship that will deliver diversification. And until we come to that as a society, we won't succeed. Unfortunately, you will wish your government well, as I do wish, say, this government well, and wish Dr. Rowley's government well. But ultimately, you fail because the system is cooked up for failure.
Right. And I'm listening to you, and I can't help but be a bit fearful because I think as a people, we are so comfortable where we are. And, to effect that change, I still ask the question, who is out there who will really rally the troops and effect change? But that's a conversation for another time. We have a few minutes left, and I want us to talk about the allocation coming to Tobago, the largest in its history. It's about 6.3% of the. It's an aggregate percentage of about 6.3% of the national budget. What's your view on that? Do you think that it was coming? Do you think that now Tobago is more empowered, or does it not really make a difference?
Same story. If you are going to make any sense of it, I mean, we've been raising the share of the revenues coming to government since before the THA, the new THA Act. I mean, from 1980, before 1980 it was 1.2%. Now it's up to 5%. We have not achieved any development over that period. And when the minister announced the 5%, you will notice, while the minister took the time to show that the government in Trinidad, meaning Dr. Rowley's government, performed badly, he didn't take the time to document the performance of the THA and the Tobago economy. Because if you were to do that properly, what you would find is there is no development going on in Tobago. We're not exporting healthcare, we're not exporting education. Tourism is relying primarily on beach and events tourism. That's not going to do the job for us. We're not doing as we should with the carnival industries, extending them into film and video games and all of those kinds of things. We're just holding a fete every year, that sort of stuff. And what you then learn from that, and when you look at the 4 successful countries in the Caribbean region, is that the minister has stayed away from a proper accounting of the performance of the Tobago economy. So that leaves Tobagonians now in euphoria, but with nobody to tell them, look, face the reality. You're just going to get money, spend it, and as Manley said, it would pass through Tobago like salts, and you will not end up with development. We have to put an end to that kind of game sometime in our history.
Right. And of course, as we look to close, I want you to comment. In the minister's presentation, he mentioned, and I can't remember the exact term now, but it was like investment in real estate, something like how unit trusts would run. I can't remember the term now. I want you to comment on it because if my memory serves me right from researching, about 20 years ago in Tobago's, there was a document presented, I think, by a strategic committee with Dr. Anselm London, with Dr. Henry, I think even with Professor Julian. And something like that was developed in terms of 20 years ago that Tobago should develop. Tell us a little of how that will work in the national scheme of things.
Right. Well, I don't fully understand what the minister had in mind because he didn't provide the elaboration. But what I know from the point of view of professional research is that Tobago, and maybe to a lesser extent Trinidad, but surely Tobago, will benefit and should put in place a land and housing trust that provides another avenue for citizens to accumulate assets that will serve them well in their retirement years. That's the same attitude you have to the solutions offered on the NIS. NIS provides citizens $3,000-4,000 a month when you retire. But if you understand how the practical world works, that's a peppercorn retirement income. And so what you have to do is invest in other measures, developing other assets that will provide the kind of income you will need when you are no longer able to sell your labor power to make money. So all the land and housing trust idea is a great idea, but I don't know that is what the minister had in mind. That's where they should be going in Trinidad, beyond what is going on now with housing, and surely in Tobago, given the fact that young people will need access to housing assets, not just to live now, but as a source of income. And therefore you have to build the kinds of assets and therefore the kind of tourism, the long stay tourism, that will allow those assets to generate income in your later years.
And let me just share with the viewers, it is called the establishment of a real estate investment trust. And with most budgets, we always have to wait to get the details to these programs, because what was the summary of the presentation is the government will establish a state-sponsored real estate investment trust in fiscal 2026 aimed at ownership of state assets and broadening public participation in national wealth creation. And it continues to say the REIT, which is the Real Estate Investment Trust, will include income-generating state properties such as land, office buildings, and commercial infrastructure, which will be transferred into a professionally managed portfolio.
Yeah. Right. Well, you have to know what that means, notwithstanding what you've read there, because the design is critical. I mean, in Jamaica, we've invested in building up the housing trust that has a particular design that's working well for them. But in the context of, say, Tobago, where we have so much land tenure issues and so on, you're going to have to do much more than a housing trust. So it's not merely that you have the trust. And secondly, in the context of Tobago, you're going to need to integrate it into a carefully crafted development banking facility to underscore opportunities for people to invest in the development program. So this is an important idea that the minister is opening up here, but much depends on how you design it in the context of the facts of your case.
And we just have a minute or so to wrap up. Again, going back to the giving and taking within the budget presentation, because I know many drivers rejoiced with their dollar decrease in the fuel. But I also noticed that, clearance of a shipping container increased by 100%. Some of the taxes that will impact business owners and, manufacturers, taxes have gone up. And we know traditionally in the structure of a business, the cost factors in, the end user's price, so that I'm thinking that business owners, of course, who are in business to make a profit, will therefore pass on that cost to the end users, the consumers. How should we, as an economist, I want you to give us advice in terms of preparing for what is to come, as we wrap up this interview.
Right. Well, the fundamental principle underlying your reference to the customs duties and increased custom duties is that imports are inputs into production in Trinidad and Tobago. All imports, including imports of food, because that's what you use to sustain workers for them to go to work. So when you raise the cost of imports, you are raising the cost of production in the country, and that puts pressure especially on businesses at the margins, small businesses, and so on. If you're going to do that, you're going to have to take steps on the other hand to deal with the viability of the businesses that are going to come under pressure. I have not seen those kinds of steps in the budget. Let me also tie your question to the reduction in the cost of fuel. That's all good for the individual, but when you're thinking about the economy as a whole, if you add if that means that, say, $400 million of spending power will get into the hands of citizens, what they will do with that spending power is buy imports. And apart from the point I was making earlier about the rising cost of those imports, the other face of that is that it's going to be pressure on foreign exchange supplies. So simultaneously with doing those things, you have to be doing the things we need to increase our export earning capacity. That won't happen in the morning, but you need to put the program in place now. So 10, 15 years down the road, you could offset the consequences of raising the demand for imports in the current period. Until we get that kind of configuration right as a citizen, enjoy your dollar reduction and face the costs with some thought and maybe some prayers.
Advice taken. Thank you so much, Dr. James, for joining us this morning. And viewers, I hope you enjoyed that conversation. And remember, it's our responsibility to keep updated. Don't just listen to sound bites in the public or just in a taxi. But the budget presentation is there. You have a lot of summaries coming out from professional institutions as well. And it's a good thing to get those documents, see it online and really be informed and understand how this budget can impact us, because it will impact like any other budget that's presented in this country. So thank you again, and you have a blessed day, Dr. James.
Thanks a lot, Natalie.
Viewers, we go for a quick break, and when we return, our next guest will join us in studio this morning, and we're talking to Minister Tricia Sobers.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025 is on October 19th, 2025. Enjoy live entertainment, cultural performances, and the best local vibes with good people. Don't miss the festival where food meets culture. The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025, Sunday, October 19th at Bloody Bay Recreational Grounds. Check out their website at www.tobagofestivalscommission.com or follow on social media at Tobago Festivals for more.
Nothing sweeter than to be born young.
The official hub for Tobago Carnival 2025. Tobago Updates presents the We Carnival series, where mass meets culture. Stay locked in for your chance to win tickets to hottest carnival events, a carnival bar hopping experience for you and your crew, and a weekend stay at Mandalina Grand Hotel. It's happening right here. Tobago Updates, We Carnival.
It was I be looking for a bam bam big energy. Don't stop me, I'm walking on a bam bam big energy. If you see the size on the bam bam big energy.
Babaduba Day. Yes, the long-awaited been there and done that. The concert is finally here. Join Minister Trisha Sobers as she celebrates with Thanksgiving 40 years of music and 25 years of ministry. Monday, October 20th at 6 p.m. at the Victory Outreach Church, supporting ministers Bishop Terrence Baines, Chantel Lindsay, Reverend Eastlyn Orr, Gabby Williams, J.Ann Batiste. You don't want to miss this evening of testimony, worship, and praise. Admission is free. See and be there. Babaduba Day. Sponsored by Dominion Appliance and Gift Shop, Sandra Bakery, and House of Judith Food and Things. Powered by Dominion Promotions.
Jesus Christ saves.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. You are viewing GMT. Good morning, Tobago, and sitting next to me is the effervescent, beautiful, energetic Minister Trisha Sobers, and she's here to share something special that's happening on Monday, the 20th of October at 6 p.m. But before we get into that event, I must ask you, I know you've been in music for about 40 years,
yes,
ministering for about 25. For those who may know you, before you switched to, saving souls and
That's
ministering, you did something else. What caused that transition?
Okay, well, it was a call of God upon my life. It wasn't a choice that I made, but first let me say good morning, Tobago.
Yes.
It's good to be here on the program. So, what caused the transition is really a call of God upon my life. I just started having these feelings, I grew up in church in the sense of, Catholic, Anglican, a little Adventist, and going to Sunday school and stuff like that. So I was never out of touch with God, but I was out of relationship with God.
Got you.
And so I got a call on my life one carnival while I was in Trinidad singing calypso professionally in Kitchener's Review tent. I just started having dreams that I need to bathe, that I need to go in the river, I need to go in the sea.
Right.
And I'm always in a white garment, and I felt that, look, I want to serve God, really and truly. So that was a big issue in the calypso because I wanted to switch from singing, the double entendre kind of songs.
Yes.
So I wanted to sing songs like singing Sandra, positive songs like, those ladies. And that wasn't liked. And so I got benched, which means that you're not singing, you're coming to work, but you ain't going to sing.
Right.
So the call was really strong upon my life, and I ended up coming back to Tobago to live and, started to do those things again, and I felt that this thing ain't so hot up at all.
Right.
I just felt out of place.
Yes.
After a certain time, and then I had a dream, and, I said, look, it's time. It's God's time. I feel the call of God upon my life, and it's God's time. And I surrendered my heart, soul, and spirit to the Lord Jesus Christ. And I never looked back.
And for me personally, I really admire persons like you who leave that part of the world because, of course, you had a successful career.
Yes,
it's not like you were just wasting time.
No.
You were hitting the big stages. You were even in Tobago, in the top 3 in Monarch competitions,
Yes.
etc.
That's
and
right.
here you had this conviction and you decided to follow and answer that call. And now you are ministering to people who are also searching for truth,
That's
who
right.
also want to develop that relationship with their creator. So tell us about Been There and Done That.
All right. So been there and done that is, the true story of it was that Pastor, who is now Bishop Baines, Terrence Baines, he called me because I used to sing in his band, Prosperous, when he gave me the introduction to his band. And so that was my first, time in the gospel singing arena.
Right.
And he told me, he said, I want you to come and do a thing for me. because I am having a gospel lipso competition.
And I could just imagine him saying it just like that.
I want it, just so I want you to come and do a thing for me. My interpretation of a thing was that he want me to come and sing. So I went before the Lord and I said, Lord, I need a song. You hear what Pastor Baines just tell me? I need a song.
Right.
So as I was sitting in my shop, I had a shop at the time selling car parts, small car parts and things. I hear, badum bay, bam bam badam bay. Well, I flew off the chair. Really, I'm very dramatic, right?
Yes.
So I flew off the chair and I run over by my neighbor and I tell her, look, I get a song, I get a song.
Yes.
And then I run back, and as I am sitting in the shop, I got verse 1, the Monday, verse 2, the Tuesday, verse 3, the Wednesday, and verse 4, the Friday. The competition was the Thursday, the competition was the Friday.
Right.
So the song is called Been There and Done That.
All right.
And the concert is named Been There and Done That, the Thanksgiving concert, because of the process God has brought me to. As I was saying in a previous interview, I don't regret anything that took place before I gave my life to Christ, because it has shaped me.
Right.
I have been trained by some of the best.
Right.
Cheryl Arnold, Duncan, John Arnold, Rawl, Axback, Titus. I must give thanks and praise for these people who I met along the way. So many people, too many to mention. But I give God thanks and praise for those that have been trained under the mighty Bomber, who wrote my first calypso, the Reverend Esther Moore Robertson. You know,
Right, yes.
Mike Duncan, deceased.
God
all
was
these
preparing
persons.
you for this
He was
moment in your life.
Yes, because you see, you
definitely.
need the training. You have the gift, but you need the training. Right. So I had the training before the gift fully.
Got you.
Because I didn't start to write until I gave my life to Christ. So I have a 10-song CD album, and Been There and Done That is one of my songs.
Good. So Been There and Done That. The Thanksgiving
consider it a hit.
concert takes place on Monday, and we
Yes.
know it's a holiday here.
Yes.
So tell us the location, the time. Do we have to pay for
Right.
tickets to enter?
Okay, great, wonderful. So Been There and Done That, the Thanksgiving concert, is on Monday, the 20th of October. That's this Monday coming, the Diwali holiday. It will be at Victory Outreach Church Auditorium. Its admission is free. You feel free and feel free to bless and feel free to come with a love offering. Feel free, because we want you to come and give thanks. This is an occasion for you to come and give thanks to God for your own self and for your own Been There and Done That story. And let me tell you, the God that I know, He will show up and He will manifest and show Himself strong. So if you have an issue and you want prayer, come. If you have an issue and you tell yourself, I need a little guidance, I want to give my life to Christ, but I'm not sure how, come. All the elements will be there. It is church. Amen.
And tell us, who are some of your supporting ministers who will be sharing the stage with you?
The Reverend Eastlyn Orr, Bishop Terrence Baines, Chantal Lindsay, Jeanne Baptiste Campbell. We have in His Presence Voices. We have Jason, Caesar, and Prosperous, and many others.
So viewers, something to do on Monday the 20th, and not just something, but something, an event that you will be blessed. You wouldn't leave empty if you do come empty. And that's Monday at 6 p.m. at Victory Outreach. We all know that Sanctus Hill in Scarborough, right here in Tobago. And if you are visiting and spending the long weekend, here's an event for you to check out as well.
I just wanted to add one very important thing. We have the facility of a park and ride, which will be, the parking will be at the Port Mall right here, the car park, which is north.
Right.
The one right there behind, not E-Tech car park, the car park that is behind the Port Mall. And we will have a maxi available between 5 and 6 p.m. to take you up to the venue if you do not have a vehicle, or if you want to leave your vehicle and park and go up.
Yes.
Yeah, because sometimes parking is a little challenging there. And then after the concert, we will be shuttling people back down the hill, and it's free. Yeah, so
yes.
remember, park and ride if you don't want to go up inside.
I love that, right? And of course,
Yeah.
you know, I introduced her particular because we know she's very effervescent and dramatic. So viewers, we go for a quick break. When we return, we have our last set of guests for the morning. And if your screens go blank, don't be alarmed. We are still here. All right, we're just resetting something very quickly. So I just want you to stay tuned because we will be back.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.
The official hub for Tobago Carnival 2025. Tobago Updates presents the We Carnival series, where mass meets culture. Stay locked in for your chance to win tickets to hottest carnival events, a carnival bar hopping experience for you and your crew, and a weekend stay at Mandalina Grand Hotel. It's happening right here. Tobago Updates, We Carnival.
Big energy, it was me looking for a bam bam big energy. Don't stop me, I'm walking on a bam bam big energy. If you see the size on that bam bam big energy.
Rise and shine, Tobago. The breakfast vibes you've been waiting for is here.
When you wrong, tell you you's a big dancer.
It's time for Sun Up Tobago, the ultimate breakfast inclusive pool party that kicks off your carnival in style.
We come to take shots. She come to take shots.
Join us on Thursday, October 23rd from 6 a.m. to 12 noon at Scarborough House, 138 Milford Road. Music pumping, breakfast sizzling, coolers flowing, and vibes unmatched. This is where sun, sea, soca, and celebration collides. Get your early bird tickets now at Pablo Supermarket, Barcode, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Signature Cuts, IslandEtickets.com, and committee members. Don't miss the event where Tobago Carnival truly begins. Sun Up Tobago. Come for the breakfast, stay for the vibe.
Tobago Updates Television recognizes women in business. Every Thursday morning on the morning show, we engage with women-owned and operated businesses from right here in Tobago. We'll discover these women, their businesses, what inspired their business, their highs and their lows, and their encouragement to you. Join me, your host, Adana Kambi, this and every Thursday on the morning show from 7:40 a.m. as we celebrate and encourage women in business.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025 is on October 19th, 2025. Enjoy live entertainment, cultural performances, and the best local vibes with good people. Don't miss the festival where food meets culture. The Tobago Blue Food Festival 2025, Sunday, October 19th at Bloody Bay Recreational Grounds. Check out their website at www.tobagofestivalscommission.com or follow on social media at Tobago Festivals for more.
morning again, viewers, and thank you for staying with us. Welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have you choose us here at Tobago Updates Television. And we're talking about Pharmacy Week, which begins next week. And with me this morning are two pharmacists. Yes, you know, long time when you see doctors and pharmacists, they look a particular way, but they're getting into the profession much younger and quite competent and able to deal with all these issues. So joining me is Amiri Hackett and Khadija Benjamin. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, I know both of you are based at the Scarborough Hospital, and I don't know, some of our viewers may be saying, yes, I know those faces. I know those faces when I come there to get my prescriptions filled. And as we talk about Pharmacy Week, I want you to tell me a little more of what Pharmacy Week is all about.
Okay, so firstly, Pharmacy Week is celebrated on the third week in October each year. So this year, Pharmacy Week would be celebrated on the 19th of October to the 24th, with Pharmacy Assistant Day being on the 21st. So what we do for Pharmacy Week is that patients would be educated on whatever concerns or issues that they may have with their health conditions or their medications, or generally we would educate the public on any common conditions patients are affected by holistically in the country. Also, Pharmacy Week would highlight patients, well, not really patients, well, persons who would work in the profession. They would highlight them for their dedication to the work, and they would be recognized for their efforts.
And what I appreciate about the healthcare system, sometimes we just see those who are on the front line, but there are so many different persons who make the system run. And of course, without the pharmacist, you know, giving us the right dosage, etc. And even sometimes we have to admit a doctor may make an error, and you're the one who may pick up on it and, you know, send back the patient. Go and ask a doctor this question. This prescription looks a bit off, or the dosage is incorrect. So of course, we do celebrate our pharmacists throughout Trinidad and Tobago and the world, and recognize the important part and contribution they play to our healthcare system. Of course, days like this would always have a theme. What's this year's theme?
So this year's theme would be every dose counts, every pharmacist matters.
And I like that. It's very catchy. So for those who didn't know there's a Pharmacy Week, yes, there is a Pharmacy Week, and we are exploring every dose counts, every pharmacist matters. So when you meet your pharmacist, whether it's in the private drugstore or public health system, be kind, smile, right? Wish them a good day. It's not they have you waiting forever. The system is just like that, all right? So be nice to them. They are working hard. And of course, I must ask, we're talking about Pharmacy Week. You all are pharmacists. What do pharmacists do?
Well, to be fair, you started off giving a pretty good account of what we do. When you talked about noticing errors or making the necessary changes to preserve the patient's safety.
Right.
But to go into more detail, as pharmacists, we are tasked mainly with being the experts on the medications. And then from there, we're responsible for collaborating with the other members of the healthcare team to ensure that patient safety is preserved, to ensure that the prescriptions we fill and dispense do not do harm to the patient, adjusting dosages, ensuring the patient's quality of life is preserved, and also helping them understand and manage their conditions better.
Right, and that's very important. And I hope viewers who are listening, especially those of you who need to take your medications, and sometimes we miss dosage, and sometimes we reinterpret the instructions the pharmacist write for us. Stop that. Don't do that. All right, the instructions are there, as you heard the pharmacist here. It's to safeguard us, to keep us safe. And as we look at this field, I'm sure there are misconceptions. In every profession, there's always a story that's told it's not true. Tell us some that you may come across in your industry, in your field.
Well, I mean, the main one that gets repeated to us a lot is that the job is as simple as just handing out or dispensing the medication.
Right.
But unfortunately, there's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot of double checking, triple checking, collaborating, and contacting doctors to ensure the medication, the dosages are correct, to ensure there's no interactions taking place, to ensure the patient actually understands what their condition is and why they're taking the medication. Sometimes, as you would have mentioned, patients may think they waited for a long time for no reason, but there's a lot of meticulous checking that has to go into the job we do to ensure that they are safe and their therapy is optimized.
And I think, again, that is so important in terms of understanding. And if I can just share, sometimes I always share little stories with you viewers, because I remember getting a prescription for one of my boys, and the doctor would have wrote something. And of course, you trust your doctor, right? But we are all human, and sometimes mistakes are made. And when I got to the pharmacist, at the outpatient clinic, she picked it up one time and she asked me a question, and she said, you need to go back to the doctor, and this is the question you're going to ask. And I think that pharmacist might have been your supervisor, right? She picked it up one time and she said, you need to go back and this is the question to ask, and it was rectified, immediately. So we really have to appreciate what you do. I want you to also share with us, how can patients take care or take charge of their health and their medications?
Okay, so the two best ways a patient could take charge of their medication, I would say, is to listen and to ask questions. So most times a patient will come to the pharmacy and they're so eager to leave because we are more or less the last
stop, yes.
in the healthcare system the
Yes.
patient would see.
Right.
And because of this, patient would be leaving with a certain level of uncertainty just because they're anxious or they're overwhelmed because they're ready to leave. And sometimes it could be even when it was by the doctor would have diagnosed them with an issue, or they would have prescribed something for them and they're not fully aware of what was said. At that point in time is when the patient is supposed to maximize the pharmacist to understand their diagnosis or their medication. So I believe that our healthcare team at the moment, and holistically, they would be able to provide information to the patients and to empower patients to improve their quality of life, and that would in turn improve better health care outcomes. So I would wholeheartedly recommend that patients would ask questions before they leave, if any uncertainty, and that would help the patient to take care of their health and their medication, take charge. Yeah.
Again, very good advice. Ask your questions. Yes, you've been in clinic all morning, you're hungry, you're stressed, we know, and you just want to grab that white bag and go, right? But make sure you listen. What I do appreciate is that how you go over the instructions, because, doctors are known for their special handwriting, and sometimes you're there, you read the prescription, you figure out some. If you're in the system long enough like me, you know what all the numbers that look like fractions mean, if it's once a week, if it's once for the month, etc., when to come back for your refills. But, when you do collect your meds at the counter, I really appreciate the fact that it's typed out, the label is clear, and the pharmacist goes through the instructions and tells you this is how much you're taking, the dosage, and when, etc. I just want us to just add in terms of taking charge of your meds. So sometimes we get the meds and we just throw it any old way in the house, or sometimes we keep it in the car. When we expose meds to extreme temperatures or not take care of it, does it change how it works within us? And should we be more attentive in terms of how we handle our meds at home?
Yeah, we definitely should be, especially with the climate we live in. A lot of the medications, they would have been manufactured in a way to ensure they are released at specific rates within the body.
Right.
So if they begin to decompose or if they're not stored properly, that can affect how the medication works within the body. So that could lead to shortcomings in terms of simple things like blood sugar management.
Right.
Like certain medications are modified release or extended release. If that release profile is changed, that could lead to the patient's blood sugar dropping much more quickly than desired, which obviously we know could lead to some serious effects.
Right, so it's very important that we understand the storage of the meds and not just to expose it to extreme temperatures. And please, viewers, check on your senior parents, your senior family members. Remind them to take their meds. Ask them how much they take. You should know the instructions as well, so you can check up on them. And even those of you who have your own meds, because I know how we are. We missed this morning, so this evening we pop 2 in, yeah? We can't do things like that. We will get everybody in trouble. And we like to play the blame game. So thank you so much for spending time with us. And I want the rest of us to recognize our pharmacists. Remember, don't just be nice to them next week because it's pharmacy week, right? But they really contribute to our health system, and what they do is very, very integral. I mean, we are getting our meds. We have to use it to help improve whatever is going on in our bodies. And if they don't get it right, then we're in trouble. And as you heard, that it's very meticulous. They're not just pulling something from the cabinet and giving you to go, right? They have to ensure the right dosage. Even when the doctor says the meds come in 1 mg and it's 10 mg and all these different intricacies. So it's not that simple. Be patient. And again, we wish you both all the best. And it's so good to see young persons entering the profession. And as we wrap up, I want you to encourage, because we have young viewers as well. We have parents who have children who would have written exams and they're not sure where to go. Why should we get into to be a pharmacist? Why should one consider to be a pharmacist?
Well, for me, I would say that persons should be encouraged, because you will be a part of bridging the gap between life and death.
Right.
So that was something that was inspiring to me, because sometimes you watch a prescription, the patient don't know what is written on the prescription, and it's the pharmacist who is there to say, this is wrong, go back, get it double checked.
Right.
And then the patient will get it checked out. The doctor would admit and say, that was probably an error in our half. I mean, humans do make mistakes.
Yes,
We're not holding anybody to it.
No.
But just the comfort of doing that, you contributed to save a life, is what I would say, and encourage persons to be a pharmacist.
Right. And what about you? Why did you get into this field?
I don't want to answer that one too honestly, but I would
answer it in a way, because I put these two young persons on this spot, right? They didn't know I was going to ask them this, because this is their profession, so I thought it would be nice to share. But answer it in a way that would encourage someone to think about considering the profession.
Well, I mean, pharmacy as a profession, I mean, as Khadija would have said, is you play a big role in ensuring the quality of life of your patients, which is our opportunity to help people, first and foremost. And obviously, as we would have talked about, the detail-oriented nature of the job is definitely something that I gravitated towards, given my personal preferences and aptitudes. So, since coming into the profession, I think I've come to enjoy it even more than I would have expected to.
Excellent.
So to anybody who has a background in science or has interest in the medical field, I definitely recommend pharmacy as an area worth getting into.
Excellent. And it's quite important to know that all of you out there cannot and will not be doctors or nurses. Yes, and there are many other professions in the healthcare system, whether you work in the lab, whether you maintain the equipment. So do some research and put pharmacists right to the top of your list as you explore and do your own research. So thank you again for joining us this morning. Viewers, it is a Friday, the 17th of October, and as we always say, your weekend has begun. But remember, you are your brother's keeper. Remember to be safe. And of course, in Tobago, all things carnival has definitely begun. Not all of us do take part in the carnival activities, but for those of you who do, be a little extra diligent, be a little extra cautious. Use up here, all right, while you do enjoy yourself. And of course, we are bringing to you the action live right here on Tobago Updates Television, and we kick off this evening at 7 p.m. as we bring you the Monarchs of Mass, and that's taking place in Carnival City. Did you know there's a Carnival City? Of course, it's at Market Square Car Park, where all things Tobago Carnival will be happening there as a center stage. So if you can't make it in person, join us this evening at 7 p.m. as we bring you the action live. So until we meet again, remember to stay safe, and yes, you are your brother's keeper.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.